Hey everybody, it's Mr. Hasquin, that social studies teacher. It's bored this summer and throwing out videos. So, hey, just trying to keep everybody engaged by bringing you things that you should know just by being alive. And this video is going to introduce you to someone that's more of a lesser known but essential civil rights figure whose life basically bridged education, activism, baseball, and also tragedy. So we're going to talk about Octavius Catto. Octavius Catto was born in 1839 in Charleston, South Carolina, and he was the son of a free black minister. His family later moved to Philadelphia, where Catto would grow to be a brilliant student and eventually a leading black intellectual and activist. He graduated from the Institute for Colored Youth, one of the premier schools for African Americans, and eventually became a teacher there. He was preaching education, justice, and also civil action. But, hey, he was more than a teacher. He was a mentor, he was a role model, he was an organizer. He advocated for equal education, desegregation of streetcars in Philadelphia, and voting rights for black men. Now, his speeches, well, they drew crowds. His writing, they challenged injustice. And his presence in Philadelphia's black community was magnetic. He helped recruit African American soldiers during the Civil War, and he called for civic equality in the North, even as the South was still being reconstructed. But Catto was also a pioneer of black baseball. He co-founded the Pythian Baseball Club, one of the first organized African American baseball teams. The Pythians weren't just about sport, they were about black excellence, integration, and also dignity. Catto even tried to challenge white teams to play the Pythians, trying to push those boundaries both on the field and off the field. And in a time when few venues accepted black players, Catto used baseball as a tool for pride and protest. Now, in 1870, with the ratification of the 15th Amendment, now black men could vote. But that doesn't mean they could do it safely. Philadelphia saw an intense backlash. There was violence and intimidation. All of this was aimed at keeping black voters from the polls. And Catto worked to mobilize black voters and protect their right to vote. He saw voting not as a privilege, he saw it as a sacred civic duty. On October 10th of 1871, Election Day, Catto was murdered in broad daylight by a white supremacist while he was walking to the polls. His death was political terrorism, and it was designed to silence a voice for justice. For decades, Catto's name was largely forgotten outside of Philadelphia, but his legacy has come roaring back. In 2017, Philadelphia unveiled the first public statue of an African American on Philadelphia public property, honoring Catto. His life tells the story of Reconstruction's promises and the violent backlash against black empowerment. Octavius Catto stood for education, voting rights, nonviolent resistance, and also the belief that black Americans belonged fully in the civic life of our nation. Octavius Catto lived with courage, he taught with purpose, and he died fighting for democracy. If you picked up something new today, throw out a like, a comment, a follow, a share, and I'll keep throwing out more things you should know by being alive. And I'm doing this because, in this case here, because remembering Octavius Catto reminds us that voting rights and equality have always come at a cost. Thanks, Mansfield, for suggesting this one, and I want to thank you for watching.